When I think of myself some decade ago or 15 years ago or 2 decades ago, trying to make strides in a twin flame journey, trying to understand what the heck was going on and how to integrate that with the rest of my spiritual journey, with the spiritual community and teacher that I was visiting, and with the rest of my life as well. And all of that, I can certainly see that I was completely distracted by how I thought it needed to look. Not that I would have wanted to admit that, but that certainly was what I was doing. It needed to look a certain way, and I was looking for it in forms. And in like, oh, this man, this form. Oh, there is another man, another form. Maybe it's him. Not understanding, completely stepping over the fact that the twin flame journey is about the feeling space in the heart in connection with your source, with the divine, and nothing else. And when that is ultimate, complete, peaceful, harmonized, you will be with your true twin flame because that's where they live. End of story. And who it is exactly, if he has curly hair or straight hair, is tall or short, has a certain body and not another kind of body, well, that's not something you can choose. And that's not what it is about. And that's not what you should look for. And that's not what you desire. You desire the ultimate peace in your heart and the ultimate feeling of feeling ultimately fantastic all the time. And when you have it, when you are there, you will see that a certain person is your true twin flame that stands beside you in that experiential field where it is ultimate. And you see that it is for them too. Well, that's your true twin flame. And you can't control that, but it is really true. And that is also, I feel, the answer to the question, to make it real short, why twin flame union seems crazy. Because it's not about how it looks on the outside. I think that's the major answer. And that's also funny because, I mean, we all do our best to be non-judgmental about the outside of ourselves and our friends and the world and other people and twin flames and whatnot. But ultimately, you need to go to harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state, and then you will experience what this inner seeing twin flames really is, your own union. And sometimes it also starts for you to be that you can see other unions, inner see other unions. And that's where you understand what was going on before. That it seemed crazy. Because however well meant, you might have still been judging things on the outside. I certainly did. Very interesting, no? And because I have seen that, I mean, everyone says that I want twin flame union, but what I have seen is that people then are presented with true unions in harmonious union, the consciousness state, and they reject them because they don't look like what they think it should look like. But it is not about how they look like. Many people that present themselves with a twin flame in a video on YouTube are not twin flames. But they might look like twin flames to you because they have something that look like twin flames to you. Because that's how you think. that it should be visible in some sort of intuitive way. But many true twin flames in harmonious union are rejected. Because you don't see yet on the inside. And that's the only thing that counts. This is actually a really interesting journey that's really not for everyone in that sense. Because maybe you are looking for a specific thing on the outside with a specific body or a specific personality or a specific, I don't know, specific couple goals that you can, like, I don't know, attain together because it looks a certain way or something. And twin flame union is not about that. It's about something much better. It's about feeling ultimately. Your ultimate feeling. And then that comes with an outside too, because everything has also an outside. Duh. And that might temporarily look crazy to others, to yourself. But when you don't judge that and you just fall back into the consciousness state, in that peace, in that inner experience where it is what it is really about, then you're there again. Then you're again at, okay, this is what it is about. And the experience of that there's something crazy falls away. I think also that, twin flame union seems also crazy because so many people want it, but almost nobody reaches it. And then when it is reached by certain people for real, it seems crazy. Well, that's partly the same as I already said, but it's also partly something else because very, very little people reach it. And then from the people that do reach it genuinely, many of them people find weird. And very many people reach quote unquote union, which is not what it is. It's not twin flame union what they have. They just present as two people on a video screen. I understand, but they're not twin flames and they're not in harmonious union. So that happens a lot too. There's a distinction there. Yeah. So true unions might seem strange to you because you're not yet in harmonious union, the consciousness state, and because you're outside oriented and not inside oriented, inner seeing what the union is, inner seeing that light, letting God show you that light and what that is, and not coming up with something yourself, something magical and intuitive, but you still came up with it yourself. And that's not what that is. It's actually such a weird topic, twin flames, because it's a given. It is already given. Twin flames is really strange. I think it is strange. When you look at where we live, in what kind of assumptions we live, in the social assumptions of society, it's really strange. It's really different. It's really not what you think it is. It's really not like, oh yeah, I'm going to have this beautiful relationship. Of course you're going to have this beautiful relationship with your true twin flame. It will be ultimate romance. But that is not how you thought of it before in the cultural conditionings. It's not, for instance, what I, for instance, see on social media is like men and women complaining about that they were once in love, but now they share a household and the other person doesn't do anything in the household. And the one person cleans and cooks and does the dishes and groceries and childcare, and the other person doesn't do anything. And then they try to talk about that and resolve that and think about the ideas of why men are like this and women are like that, and find psychological backgrounds for it and psychological solutions for it. And that all seems very reasonable and very interesting. I was even interested in that. I was like, because I'm like preparing for sharing a household. So I was like, oh, that's interesting, actually. So, oh, people have a lot of problems with that. I mean, that's interesting to know, right? So that like the relationship and the love fizzles out because of these kinds of practical problems. And then people give other people advice and they say, well, end the relationship because they don't do anything. And well, fuck them. And I don't know what, Ooh, that's typical. Yeah, if you want a partner, they have to do a certain thing. And of course, I would want to have like a capable partner that is like emotionally mature, that shares in practical things. That sounds wonderful. But here's the thing. That's not how twin flames work per se. Not because twin flames are narcissists that cannot be capable and do as if they're not and always want to fuck you over, but still have a so-called love relationship and have the forms of what that might be. No, not at all. That's not at all what that is. Twin flames don't work like that because twin flames have a certain collaboration in their team together that is already sort of predestined to be in a certain way and does not necessarily collide with societal, social, logical, self-made up ideas of what one person should contribute to living together and what would be fair the other should be doing in such a literal way that we would like put it on paper. Oh, they did that one and I did that one, and let's write that down, and it needs to be equal every week and every day. And that's not how twin flames work. It's much more organic. They are already meant to be contributing to a lifestyle that leads continually to a deeper state of peace and love. And that translates itself into these kinds of practical things too. But not necessarily because they look like what everyone outside the twin flame idea would find logic and reasonable, but because that is for uniquely their union the best way in divine light. And you don't need to like mark that off on a list. That will not work for twin flames because it all floats on divine love. And in divine love, it is already fair. So what you do there is you contribute what comes up, what bubbles up in you to want to share. And you keep that within your peaceful, normal boundaries. And there's something else that comes up, bubbles up in them. Because they want to share that innately. And that's what they contribute within their set of boundaries. that they don't walk over themselves. And that should like form the ultimate life, because whatever they experience in that together, in living that together, will contribute to going deeper and deeper in love. What about that? Which is eventually what their whole relationship thrives in. And that's what you desire. That is what you desire. It is what your heart truly desires. To, through that relationship, every time, go deeper in love, in divine love. So it's also not meant to be fair or equal in that kind of cold logic way, but it will always be fair and equal in a divine way. Ooh, that reminds me of A Course in Miracles. It does. Yeah, I think there are whole chapters in the book, A Course in Miracles, that we do use to learn more about union consciousness, which is twin flame union consciousness, right? There are whole pieces of the book in which there are descriptions about how, no matter what the form is, God has an, how do you say that? God is fair. And everyone, no matter what amount you are called to contribute, everyone gets the same from God, the same amount and the same depth of love and peace from God, the same abundance from God. Everyone gets their true twin flame and harmonious union from God. Everyone gets their divine abundance from God. Everyone gets that, no matter what you contribute under God in the society of God. That's what A Course in Miracles says. It's actually in the chapter that I have been studying, like for over a year, a lot, because Divine Mother pointed out that would need to be a chapter that was fit to study at that time. That was not so long ago, like 1.5 years ago. I started studying that. A little over 1.5 years ago. Anyway, yeah, that was very interesting. So, well, this was like the summary of that chapter. There you go. There was a lot more in it, but oh my gosh, yeah. So it is not how you thought about it, but it is much more and much more beautiful than you ever thought about it. The twin flame union, the twin flame relationship. And that's why it seems crazy, because it's unknown yet. But the divine unknown is of the most pure, beautiful heart feeling that ever can be acknowledged by yourself. And that's what it's all about. The beauty is not able to be understood by society and social bound understanding. The beauty of twin flame union far surpasses that, because it is anchored in something else. And from the place of social and societal norms that is so, well, frankly, divine and beautiful and peaceful, that it doesn't fit inside the molds of social and societal structures. and therefore it seems crazy. And therefore, twin flame union will always seem crazy to those that are still in the grasp of the ego.